Welcome to the Dice Are Good Bad Storytellers. My name is Jacob Clarkson, and these are my incredible players. We are in the world of Remalin. Once again, I'm joined by Maddie playing Kubo, Rachel being played by, I ain't gonna tell nobody, Matt being played by Kyle, and Josh being played by Leo.
Backwards.
I did! Kyle being played by Matt. Thank you. Kyle being played by Matt. We are back into the world. Remalin is this 1920s, very urban gangster setting, and we are stuck in Sheen City. Last session, an ancient silver dragon was slain by having a large, her own lair, her own hoard being collapsed on her own head by the machinations of one Kyle. Last name isn't brought up a lot. And the city is in chaos. I mean, streetcars buzzing around, honking horns, people running around, this thin layer of, powdered concrete and dust. It looks horribly chaotic and scary. There have been deaths. There have been a lot of civilian deaths in this event. Current estimates are around, 25 to 50, but it's kind of impossible to know until everything is resolved here. But the larger scale of what's happening here isn't quite as important yet. And so for now, we are going to zoom back to the perspective of one Kyle, who has been put into a cop car in the back after he admitted to being the one to cause the collapse of Efferden's hoard, this ancient silver dragon. And as you're sitting in the back, the doors are locked. You can see that the police officer that you confessed to is currently on the phone, like across the street a ways, and is talking. And even without doing a wisdom save, you can tell he's basically being like, hey, this guy said his name was Kyle. He said he's like this is all his doing, I don't know. It's like, this is all chaotic, but what do you want me to do here? And you can see the moment where whoever he's talking to connects to someone high enough up, and then his face kind of goes dark. He comes back to the car and without a word kind of turns on the ignition and starts driving off. What's going through Kyle's head while this is happening?
Kyle starts shaking out some of his sleeves as a handful of doves burst out, just flapping around in the back seat.
The driver turns suddenly. I'm actually going to roll a save for him real quick, just a little. I didn't even have my dice right.
There's a bunch of like cooing birds in the back, like.
Yeah, he like swerves a little bit, kind of bumps on the curve, and then keeps going. He goes, "Sir, please get your animals under control," as they kind of like flatter against the cage between you and him in this cop car.
What are you talking about? I don't know where these came from.
He doesn't know how to process that, but is not like you can tell he's just kind of like, just get him to the station, just get him to the station, just get him to the station, and he just keeps driving. Yeah, he doesn't respond to you verbally. I'm not hearing you right now, Kyle.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, okay, great. So you guys get to the police station, and after he comes in, a handful of other officers come out. They open the door. Assuming you didn't do anything to restrain the doves, they burst out, start flying out across the city here or there. There's like one or two doves still inside the cab with you. And they move to put you in handcuffs and start taking you into the building.
I allow them to handcuff me.
They put handcuffs on you. There's just kind of this like weird chill among the officers because there's only like 2 or 3 that aren't out like actively trying to like rescue people, and you can tell that like they received orders that were unusual to prioritize getting you to where you're going. And so they start directing you in. This building is, red brick stone. It's kind of built. It's like an inner city police station, and they bring you in. The door opens. Kind of clatter rushing around. A lot of people, office people starting to put together the paperwork, aligned with such a huge, crazy thing happening. And they bring you into an interrogation room. They, attach your handcuffs to a small metal bar in front on the table, and they go, they're going to be here any second. Please stay here, sir. They're going to do a quick interview with you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you're here for a good chunk of time. You're here for a good chunk of time. I just shared a bit of music into the Discord because this song has been on my head when imagining this kind of period. But after a while, some other officers come in, and these guys are clearly not police officers, but are, for lack of a better words, they're feds. Like they are people that have the interests of Remalin on a higher level in their day-to-day operation, and they are dressed nicer. They, they're just all around more impressive looking. And as you go through this process, you get your mug shots taken. I'm assuming you're not resisting at all here. But you get your mug shots taken, you get all of these things happening. That's kind of your processing. They try to do your fingerprints, like they're admitting you basically. Is Kyle being totally copacetic here?
Me, the finger portions of my gloves kind of just like pull back so that the gloves are, like fingerless gloves as they're doing that.
Okay. Yeah. So you get through that whole process and you're sitting in there. Now, I've given you a couple opportunities to let me know what's going on in Kyle's mind at a deeper level. It doesn't sound like you're wanting to share that. Is that something you want to share now? Because you're kind of
6,917.
6,947.
6,949. 6,959.
Okay. This is very esoteric, and I, as a DM, do not
he's
understand.
counting by primes.
Oh. Okay.
A way to keep his mind occupied.
Kind of like a mental tick. Interesting. Okay. Okay. After you've been sitting here for a long time, kind of just trying to distract yourself like you described, keeping numbers going, you see 4 people come into the room, and you know 3 of them. One of them you don't know by name. First off is Llewellyn. She comes in, kind of a well-dressed woman, this inspector, private eye that you've had a relationship with before, who's been pretty neutral usually. And she looks in and has this kind of like grim look of pity on her face as she walks in and sees you here. And you kind of hear the ending of a conversation as this group was coming in. And she's like, look, I had no indication anything was this crazy. I couldn't have, she was totally normal just a couple weeks ago. And following her is the man that you had a conversation with when you read your mind to see what was going on in Kyle's head. That some weeks ago, back at the Cadros household. You can interrupt me at any time if you think Kyle would have an interruption here.
He's not.
Okay. As he's coming in, he goes, hey, I knew it was bad, but I didn't think he was dangerous. I didn't think he was capable of anything like this. He was just He was just a card player, like a shyster was my read on him. And finally, after that, you see a you only have seen this person, you haven't like talked directly to him, but you see, remember his last first name. This must be crazy for Rachel, who is not familiar with like half of these characters.
True.
Basically, I'll just simplify. It is the police officer that had taken the tattoos of Peregrine Cadras back at the Cadras household again some weeks ago.
Hawthorne or Havelock, one of the two.
Yeah, I can't see.
So
it is Clawthorn. I remember it is Clawthorn. I can't remember. Yeah. And then the last character, which probably weighs more than all three of the people who came in before, is this full Minotaur fed. And he is big, furry, like basically almost fully bovine looking. And he is a very scary and kind of like a lion mane kind of way. Like he's looks very formal, but his body itself is so wild and like feral. It's like this huge like contradiction, you know. But as he comes in, he's just, we've kept a file on some of these guys, but we didn't. Well, you know, you live, you learn, you adapt, right? And he kind of gives a hearty laugh as he comes in, and he closes the door, and he goes, "Hey, so this is Kyle, the guy we've heard so much about." All the other three people stand up and stand at the back of the room, and he sits down across the interrogation table with you, and he goes, "Well, what happened out there, my friend?"
I think you're more or less aware of the gist of it.
Seem to have collapsed a building on one of our, well, friends might be a strong word, but one of the city's more well-known figures. Is that right?
I was present for its collapse.
Part of its collapse. Right? He kind of looks to the people that him. Okay, part of its collapse. That's good to know. So, I'm going to level with you, Kyle, here. There's a lot of people in high places that would love to see you dead. And I'm kind of partial to giving them what they want. What was that?
That's not a situation to which I am unaccustomed.
I understand. I'm prepared to make a deal with you that you may want to accept or not. He pulls out a pistol. Pistol is a soft word for it. It is a pistol for someone of his size. For anyone else holding this gun, it would be like kind of the equivalent of handling like an extremely small cannon. But the size of his hand just kind of is so large in comparison to it that it looks enormous. And he puts that gun on the table, and he goes, "My buddy back here." He points at the man who you still don't know his name. You've met him at the Cadros household, but it's this old man. He knows how to fix what those nasty Torellan dwarfs, the Iagran dwarfs from Torellan, excuse me, did to your brain. And I'm prepared to fund his operation to fix your little problem up here. He kind of laughs again, kind of out of pace there. But I need two things from you. Are you prepared to be compliant here?
I'm listening.
Okay. First off, we have plans for the Iagran dwarves. Plans that if you were to assist us with your unique brand of he starts the word terrorism, and Fluent starts like taps his shoulder and goes, tactical allocation of resources could be very useful for. So we would like your assistance in that effort. 2, I understand that you have a relationship with a paltry criminal organization in the city called the Circle that we've been keeping pretty close tabs on. Is that right?
We've had some dealings in the past.
Right. Is again, he points to Fluent. It's my understanding that they give you like little calling cards, like little cute little tchotchkes that they kind of keep in touch with you with. Do you have that? Do you have one of those?
He just, with a quick flourish of his hand, even though he's handcuffed to the table, he deftly makes a small coin of copper, appear in between the fingers of his left hand and bounce around his knuckles a few times before disappearing back up his cuff.
Roll me. I'm going to allow you to do all of that. Just roll me a dexterity save to let me know how much effort it takes. So just like a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
$15.
15. Okay. You do this very masterfully, and they're like, at a certain point, like, kind of at first he's like, what? And then halfway through, he's like really impressed. And by the time the coin gets back into his other sleeve, he's like, hey, whoa, we got a performer here, guys. Like, the Minotaur is like clapping for you a little bit as the people on the back wall are kind of look a little uncomfortable. And you see that Fluellen kind of comes up and whispers in kind of his large bovine ear. He goes, oh, that's so, okay. The Minotaur kind of slowly gets up from his chair, takes his pistol off the table, walks around the table, and he goes, you seem like a great guy, but I'm sorry we couldn't find a way to work together here. Anything you want to say? You can put that coin on the table if you want to, change the trajectory of this conversation here.
Well, I have every bit of as much of a reason to want to work against the Ayagrins as you want me to. And if you deprogrammed me, so to speak, I definitely owe you one. But that coin could put the lives of people I care about in danger. So I won't hand it over to you, but I will do this. And quick as you can blink, it's in the palm of my left hand as a green and purple flash and haze drift off of the hand. And as it turns the palm over, the copper, falls to the table. It's just a melted hunk of slag, rapidly cooling and merging slightly into the table.
Interesting. It's like, I think there's this moment where the table's kind of like, he did something magical, we need to do something, and then they realize it's kind of for presentation at the slag. After this, you hear this large pistol get cocked. You feel the cold of the pistol right at your head.
So as the pistol gets aimed at me, my other palm turns outward towards it, and the pistol grows unbearably hot for whoever's holding it.
So interesting. Because I know that's heat metal. What is the save for that spell?
Constitution DC Uh, 13.
Okay.
They fail,
Um,
they drop. If they don't fail, they have disadvantage on it and start taking damage. Also, because of the way all my stuff is flavored, I'm actually microwaving it.
It's very funny. Everybody gets feels like their teeth fillings get just a little warmer than they'd like. So the Minotaur with this in his hand, I'm really sorry to do this to you, but he passes the save, and you hear a bullet fire, and this scene goes dark. That is going to be the end of that scene there. You know, right before this happens, he's just holding it. You hear burning cowhide and flesh, and you like get this strange smell of stuff, and it is just click, and scene is black. Yeah, he passes save. So we will continue on.
Rip.
You want to say rip?
Not like in a. I don't know what to say. Condolences. I don't.
I love the memes from
Like,
Leo.
I'm like, damn.
So we're just gonna carry on. I know feels very abrupt. That's very unusual for me, I know, but we're just gonna carry on. Moving to the next scene here. We this feels very weird. We pull back out of this black cut, and the screen reopens on a very, very busy hospital. Stretchers are going in and out, like it is chaotic. This is like the Central Sheen City Hospital. It is a very imposing, large building, and you can see like the entire emergency services are dedicated to assisting people that have been injured or killed, unfortunately, by this collapse of this building. And it's chaos. It's all over the place. And as we've already established, Leo, who has had the minimum life-saving stuff he needs, he still has some like plastered stuff on his body, but he's been, at 1 hit point. They made sure he's not dying, giving him like basic medical coverage. And he was sitting in his bed, and as he woke up, he heard a very familiar voice. And this voice continues in this scene as you open your eyes, Leo. You're in a very, very modest hospital room. It looks like you managed to get a private room, maybe surreptitiously. And you see Vavin, who the last time you remember seeing was you remember seeing from the inside of a body bag where you were being snuck out of a prison. See, Vavin just goes, "Oh, it's so good to see you, my loved friend. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Do you know that? You're so beautiful."
Are my hands free?
I think it's pretty clear that they were when you were first put in, and it looks as if he has restrained you while you were unconscious. You also realize that he has removed the bandages that were both medically on your arms as well as hiding your tattoos. And as you kind of come conscious and you hear his voice, you realize that he is tracing the tattoos on your right arm with his finger. He's like, "Oof, you've developed so wonderfully, my young friend. Oof,
Can you touch me? Just don't touch me. I'm like panicking. I look at myself. Do I look like am I in a cast? Like how bad am I hurt? Like do I got my legs?
Yeah, when you look down, it looks like your legs are injured. It doesn't look like you have anything that would stop you from walking, but you would be limping. Like you'd be moving at basically half speed. You've just been like very generally fucked up. Like just like not like any one part of your body is ruined, but just like bruises everywhere, maybe a broken bone here. There's like a stress fracture, but like, you've just been kind of like thrown in a rock tumbler.
Okay. Hmm, is there can I see the door from my bed?
It is on your right-hand side, and even as you're looking at it, you see like there are busy people running back and forth from your window. Like it is, you are like on the floor of a very busy emergency room.
I want to see if I can like cast something, but without needing my hands. Um,
If it has no
uh,
somatic components, then you could, if you still had spell slots. What with the spell slots that you had from our prior engagement.
so this is my class ability. So it just says at level 6, as an action, I can call forth my summon to my side. This functions as a dimension door, but it doesn't say components to do so. So I don't know.
Interesting to know. I will say that that's probably, it takes a full action. So I'm going to say that's going to be, somatic is kind of like a whole, but also Jophiel was dispelled. So I think you might have to do a full summoning situation to bring her back to this plane.
Oh, like the full ritual thing. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
I'm
just to
defenseless.
kind of keep the scene going, he sees you kind of like instinctually go to cast this thing, and he puts his hands on your hands, like, and leans over the table in front of you. You can see his face. He's just like, just relax, my young friend. I would never hurt you. Do you know how precious you are? How precious you are to the dwarves, to all of Terrell, and to the world, really. Do you know? He has a very like gaunt face, like a very structured and rigid bone structure. And he's looking at you very differently than Sebastian did. You remember Sebastian when he was like, when you were down in that prison at the executioner's area, he was very like,
Throwing
like
souls at me,
militaristic.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Vavin just kind of seems to be a little over invested in your experience here, and basically he pulls up, walks to the door, kind of looks outside the door for a bit. And he goes, "I'm so sorry to let you know, but your friend Kyle, who has done such a wonderful job in helping you develop, has unfortunately passed away. Some of our agents within the Sheen city government have completed our request. I'm so sorry to let you know, my young friend, but
What?
your friend has gone."
What? I'm just so confused by Kyle being dead. But also, what what do you mean by his assistance and my growth?
So you understand that when divine beings die around you, you become more powerful. You become more able to negotiate contracts with above and below. And you've been doing so. He's like flourishing around the room. It's a little uncomfortable to watch. He is like normally so tight and like controlled, and he seems to be enjoying this conversation a lot. Um, and looks through his actions, so many have died around you. That terrifying demon, all the people in that building that he collapsed, that powerful dragon. And look, and he points at your tattoo, and it seems like just from the altercation at the tower, new lines have appeared, new
I didn't
elements to
think
the
of that.
tattoo.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh.
What are you upset? Are you upset? Why would you be upset? Isn't this what you wanted?
No. Like kind of no. I'm like so tempted to scream security.
Yeah. He laughs at that pretty hard. He's like, "No, you understand. Oh, and he's got his gauntlet on, his like strange like hand gauntlet that he's cast spells through before. And he's like putting it to his face. He's like, "You have to understand, as much as we Iagran dwarves hate the divine and hate the hellish, because they interfere with our ability to control the masses, those on the material plane, you must understand, you are an illustration of what we wish we could be. You are above us because
Oh,
you
jeez.
control the divine. You control the hellish. Not only Ayala, but Dorn, do you understand how beautiful you are? Do you understand?
You just say it so weird. I just I get, but you guys are modifying me. This is not really what I wanted.
No. We are not modifying you. We are completing the vision that your wonderful parents had for you when they gave you those beautiful tattoos. Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, but that's not my goal. I'm trying to find their killers. If you're gonna insist on that, then okay. If not, get out of here.
Great. He goes, you're right. I shall respect your wishes. I shall allow you to develop in your own wonderful, organic way. Just know that you shall always have a home here with the Aldrin dwarves. Always, just right here. He casts a glamour on himself. He goes from being like kind of like a squat, dwarven man that has like no beard, very, very coiffed, like strange looking dwarf, to this like high elven man, who actually is wearing like scrubs and stuff. He's like fully disguised himself. And he walks outside, and you see him point and he says, yes, nurse, obey. You can tell he's cast some sort of a spell on this nurse. She comes over and you hear him talking to her at the door. You make sure that our young friend in here gets the best service available. You understand? Best service, healing, speed healing, everything. I want him to walk out of here better than he came in. You understand? Better than he got injured. And you see the woman go, like do some unpleasant looking like twitching as she's like being compelled magically to do what you just requested. And she comes in and starts tending to you. The door closes. Do you do anything on the way out here as he's leaving?
I kind of want to. I kind of want to counterspell him.
You want to try and counterspell him from the door? Yeah. This is definitely a higher spell slot than 3 in terms of counterspelling it, but I will definitely allow you to do that. I'm going to set a DC over here.
If it's higher than 3, I can't do that, right? Isn't that how
it's an intelligence check. It's an intelligence check to attempt to. And if you don't beat a certain level, then it fails to counterspell.
Okay. Wait, let me have counterspell up.
That's too high. There we go. That's fair.
All right, blah. Okay, DC equals 10 plus my spell. Okay. 10. So that's 13.
You try to do that, and he sees you do it, and he goes, "Oh!" He's like very insulted, but your counterspell fails, and he's like, "I know you don't want me to intercede, but at least let me do this, my young friend." And he leaves. And the woman comes in and just goes like, "How can I help? How can I help?" And is like being very magically compelled to. She drops a couple healing spells on you. She is very confused.
Perfect. What you can really help me is give me back my 4th spell slot. But other than that, I'll take the healing. Thank you very much, I guess.
So she will like quickly undo your bindings and everything. She starts to heal you. You can feel your bones knit together. Unless there's something you want to do, we're gonna cut away as you're being healed here.
Get me a cane and take me out of here, and then we cut away.
Okay, she goes, "Yes, sir," and she gets you like a medical walking stick kind of a thing, and she starts to walk you out. By the time you get out of the door, Vavin is completely, like, totally not visually there.
Perfect. I'm trying to go back to the group and see if Kyle's really dead.
Cool. Now we are going to cut to Kubo. Kubo, you got back to the house. You kind of reconvened with a Peregrine who was kind of talking about how they're planning their exit strategy out of Sheen City, because like you heard from another source, Bishop Parsley is doing something weird after he had a conversation with Senator Glorin. And so the whole Cadros household is on eggshells a little bit right now. There's a weird energy. Even Deza seems a little bit off. But you, Deza, a butler, and I think that's all. We're driving back into town to try and retrieve Leo after kind of the dust settled. And so you're driving in.
The only thing was, I don't think I brought a butler with me.
You didn't bring a butler. Okay,
That's okay. Maybe I'll.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, you can totally do that. So you and Deza, was Odina with you still? Yes, I think Odina is with you now.
She was, but I mean, it's totally fair. I think I did tell her at the end of the last session, like, if you, understandably, this is like a lot. If you want to go home, we can reconvene or something, or I'll check on you later.
I think she would stay here for now. We'll have to look at the old. I didn't watch the whole recording before,
okay.
so I can't remember. Yeah. But we'll say she's staying with you here now. Okay. You guys, drive off to the hospital. You get to the hospital. It's chaos. Dinah's like, I think the main entrance is over there. He should just be in emergency services, right?
Yeah, that sounds good. Can I pull like a sick parking move, like into park into a spot?
Yeah, roll me we'll have this just a flat dexterity check. So just roll a dice with your dexterity modifier here.
Perfect. I just want to make sure. Oh, okay, 14.
14, yeah. You do like this sick whip parking. I was just gonna describe something like this. Like you do this sick whip, but rather than going in back, you like parallel park at like high speeds. So it's just like
good for him. Yeah.
The rim of the tire bumps against the curb here, and you guys all start getting out. Roll me a perception check here first off, and Odina will look around as well.
I got a nat 20, but I got a 21.
21. Okay. Yeah, Odina's kind of looking around. You see that her wings are just materialized. She's kind of going half and half right now in terms of being human/dragon. And so she's just prepared. She's ready, but she's still in her human form. With that 21, you see that there are some feds, some federal agents outside the hospital, kind of like forming a perimeter around all the chaos. And it's like chaotic and everything. And the first thing and this is like something that you would know from Peregrine / your role as a gangster, there's a very short list of people that Peregrine says, like, just don't be seen by them. Don't be seen by them. Don't be around them. Don't do anything with them. And these guys are like the only ones, now that you're actually like a full-fledged gangster, that are still on the list.
Yeah.
Like pretty much anybody else now, like you don't need to be scared about interacting with anybody in the city. You guys kind of own the city in certain ways. These guys are on the short list of people that like will kill you on sight. Like,
okay. So Kubo like will move a little bit out of range, so to speak, or like maybe even just like kind of get back in the car, and he's like, those are feds.
So just,
if there's cocaine in the car, can he real quick just do some? Because I feel like that's the kind of thing.
So just to make this comedic, you, Deza, and Odina get out, and Odina's starting to look like, yeah, he should be over there. And then you and Deza walk back around, get back in the car, sit in the car, and Odina's like, what? And Deza sees you doing the cocaine and is like, can you give me some?
Kuba absolutely just passed it. He's like, can you come here for a second, Odina? Can you just?
Odina like leans into the car windows like, what, guys, come on, we gotta get in there.
No, sorry. He just, okay. Sorry about that. So, like, we're gangsters, as you know. Those feds kill us on sight, probably, or put us in jail. So we just, before we go in there, we need a plan right now, because I don't have my disguise. Deza, do you have yours?
No, of course. No, of course.
We just came from a building. Okay. Hey, Odina. There's like, so is there like a line of 6 of these feds or something? Like, how many are there?
It's kind of like on the side of the building that you can see, there are only like 2.
Okay.
But it's really rare for there to only be 2 overall.
That's right.
Like, it's like you can see 2 at this entrance. There probably are more on the grounds, but to extend to that, like, you're not really sure what they're doing here or why they're keeping a perimeter. This kind of says a story about what's going on with either Leo or in this hospital.
So this is incredibly sus. Actually, Kubo says that real quick. He's like, this is incredibly suspicious. Like, who's important enough to, like, for the feds? Is Kyle here? looks at them because I guess I don't know anything. So
I mean, I have no idea. The last I saw anything was I think, and Odina's like, I think I saw Kyle coming down in the air, the parachute thing, and then I think I saw Leo, but then I saw Kyle get in the police car and drive off, but I don't think they bring him here. He didn't seem to have any injuries, or
Kubo just looks at everyone and is like, okay, well, so I guess the first thing we gotta do is not get arrested. Understandably. So like Odina, if you like, here's the thing: there's normally not just two, as I'm sure you all understand, but like the easiest way to get in is if Odina, if you're okay with this, if you like distract them somehow or something, maybe even just ask them like what's going on, and we could try to sneak in. The only issue is I don't know like about getting out. Or Odina, if you feel okay with like doing some reconnaissance, do you want to just like go in and like come back and tell us how it looks so far? Or like I don't want to send you in by yourself though. What do you feel best doing? I don't know.
Well, she kind of points at her wings. I mean, if we just fly high enough to a point where they can't see you or Deza, I probably should only carry one of you if I want to stay small enough they can't see me from a certain height. I guess I could do that, but there are other options too. I mean, she kind of looks up, and it's like dark now, so there's not like a lot of light past kind of the height of the buildings. And it's a cloudy night too, so she's like, I mean, if I wanted to get on the roof and then you could explore the inside, but I don't know how many feds are inside or anything like that.
That's a good idea. This is great. Looks at Deza. Deza, what do you think? I'm partial to like from the roof breaking in, or like I have like some hats, but that doesn't really. I'm sorry.
Deza looks at you with like blue skin, intricate facial tattoos that are both like feminine and terrifying. He goes, I mean, I prefer the flying idea. I'll be honest. I don't.
Yeah, no, thank you. It just takes a second for it to kick in. I blame the cocaine. Anyways, okay. Do you want to like rock paper scissors it? Like do you want to go first, Deza, and like you guys can come get me, or like what?
Roll an insight check here on Deza. You can see like the chaos is starting to calm down just in general. Like,
oh wow, I just got a dirty 20. Dang.
Deza is scared. Deza is usually very, very gung ho about wanting to be participant in that. And these are like the boogeyman. Like Peregrine has kind of established this as like these are the people you run from. Like,
okay. Yeah, no, yeah. Not to cut you off, but okay. I think like as he's saying that, he's like, actually, you know what would be really important, I think, is if we have a good getaway. Do you care like if you guard the car and like we'll be fast? Like we can figure out like maybe yeah, okay.
He's really grateful for that out. It's just like, yeah, I will
as a suggestion, you might want to choose to escape using the car that Kyle was playing with.
Did we take it though?
Well, we can just for generosity's sake assume that's like the designated the A-team car that you guys.
Yes, the gang car. Yeah.
The one that Kyle's been using. Kyle's been scooping up.
Yeah, you can see the scratches from when he did the thing on it. Yeah. I love that. That's why there was still cocaine in it. Makes sense. Okay. So yeah, Kubo gets out, like trying to be like as inconspicuous as possible. He is not wearing his hat, but I am gonna say he probably does have like his like gangster like actual suit coat on to hide his swords. Because he's not gonna, I don't know.
Yeah. Like
low key to Odina as he's getting out, he's like, yeah, like if we have to, like I hope that this isn't a big deal, but I would rather die or kill them. No, sorry, I would rather kill them than me die or anything bad happen to you guys. So not to freak you out, but that's where my mental space is.
Deza goes like, that is extremely freaky. I am freaked out, but I get it. We're good. I trust you guys. There's this strange moment where Odina is like, okay, so how do you want to be carried? Because I can do like the fireman, or I can get you under the arms, or because being on my back might be kind of hard.
Kubo immediately kind of starts to blush. He's like, "You can like carry if you want. I'm fine with that. As long as that's not like an issue or anything." I mean,
we'll get through this. She like fireman baby carries you.
Yeah, amazing.
A little bit, and just kind of shoots as straight up as she can.
Kubo has just like a little, like just enough of just like a ooh, whoa, like oh yeah.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you guys zip up. You guys are able to move over. You guys easily get to crowd cover. This is very disorienting for you. You know, flying on such a small vehicle is kind of a strange experience. That's something.
And he's high, but that's good for him.
And you fly over. You get over kind of the cleft of the hospital, and as you descend onto the roof of the hospital, it looks like there's not like helicopter technology. There's not like a lot of air transport. So normally you'd like expect to see like a helipad in a normal hospital. But here it's like there's just kind of like a couple of garden kind of things, like rooftop garden things that like patients can walk around. And it's very industrial outside of the places that are meant to be. Like there's like heat air conditioning unit equivalent in fantasy, basically.
Right.
And you fly up there and you guys are positioned, haunched, ready to go here. What's your instinct to do? Odina's like, well, I can put my wings away and we can enter if you want, or what's your move here?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll quick perception check.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
I got a 17, or a vibe check, as the kids call it.
A vibe check, 17. You can tell from that check, as far as you know right now, you haven't been detected by anybody, but there are people up here. You can hear like the scuffing of shoes or things like that, and you don't think any patients would be up here right now. Roll me a stealth check, actually. I'm going to roll one for Odina too, for kind of your entry here.
Oh no, I got an 8.
Odina got a 16. And so you see that as you kind of go start talking with the pen, she grabs your head and just kind of stops you from talking, kind of like bodily, like,
Oh,
and
good.
she's like looking over, listening for something, and you guys managed to pass the vibe check or the stealth check. Yeah, and we'll continue to set the scene a little bit here. You guys are in like one of the garden areas of the rooftop over here, and over like a hedge that has, you know, flowers, and there's some flowering trees and everything. You see one of the entrances to the hospital, you know, that kind of rises up out of the roof, and there's a doorway, and it's clearly just like stairs that go to the next landing. You see that there are 2 feds, as well as a third fed that is on the shorter side and is very dark. You know, like he has black gloves on. He's got like a brimmed hat that like the other feds don't have, and he just seems to have a stricter body language than the other 2 do. And you can kind of hear them talking in hushed tones.
Okay, what do I roll to hear what they're saying?
That was kind of your perception, 17. They're not trying to hide anything, so I'm going to assume that you're getting everything. You hear. I'm going to say you do recognize his voice, but as you hear his voice, you don't realize you hear him talk so rarely before in your childhood that like you kind of doubt yourself as you hear it, but you hear what you think is Savage's voice, and you hear him say basically like, or Alexander, as you might be want to call him, depending on something. He goes, "This is a waste of time. Why would Vavin want to come here?" And you hear one of the other people go like, "Hey, you think we tell Vavin, ask why Vavin does anything? We just do what he says, man." And he goes, "Well, yeah, but I figured, I mean, this is a waste of resources. This whole trip over here, what the hell are we doing?"
I think Kubo just kind of like sit like however by Odina, and he's already told her about this, I think at least briefly, but he just kind of is like, holy fuck, that's my brother. That's my brother. Oh my god, I've been looking for him like everywhere. Holy shit. So this is also bad, because does that mean that the feds aren't feds, that they're the Eogrin dwarves? That's even worse. Well, is it?
You look at Odina and see a very complicated confusion of, this is very cool. I have almost no context for why or what's happening, but man, do I feel included. Like,
That's good.
Like,
Kubo, I feel like as a high person, like he would definitely like kind of overshare to her if she's like, Oh my god, what does this mean? So yeah, but I think he's just like, so this is gonna be interesting. Are you okay? Okay, I we're gonna have to possibly fight our way in there, is what I'm thinking and feeling in my heart of hearts. Not just because he killed me last time I saw him, but because oh yeah, don't spill that, Jake. um, so like you don't have to be complicit in this. I just feel like I should warn you. If I can like maybe distract all of them to me, and you could like run in and see. Like, I'm guessing if Vavin's here, that then like Leo is 100% here. So yeah.
This is all Spikeling Spider, by the way. Sorry, guys, that made you concerned. But yeah, Odina kind of goes like, hey, yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Okay.
I just don't want like to put you in danger needlessly, but you're strong. You know what I mean? I'm just making sure. Okay, so I'm gonna do a spell now, and I'm gonna go out there, and I guess we'll just see what happens. Does that work?
You're gonna do a spell? Yeah, of course.
Yes. Because if I don't, he will kill me again. And then Kubo is going to cast a Shield of Faith on himself real quick.
Okay.
Let me make sure I get it to work. And that just means that he gets +2 bonus AC. Well, wait, maybe I should wait to do it until I actually start the fight. Well, it lasts for 10 minutes. You tell me what makes you feel
Just
better.
do it now. Yeah, 10 minutes is plenty of time. For sure.
All right, so he does that. If you don't care, like I would assume that some of his tattoos get that weird like black glow, absent glow, whatever of light, and he like quickly gives himself, and he's like, "Okay, you're great." And then he jumps up with his well, he doesn't jump out. He's gonna like do the roller salt, like the somersault roll out from cover, and he's gonna like just kind of slowly stand up and get his swords out. And he's gonna be like, "Yo, Savage! You son of a bitch!"
Amazing. So just what's been happening while you've been explaining to Odina is like Savage was standing there, and as you cast Shield of Faith, he kind of like hunkers over and he goes, "Wait, we got something going on here." And as you pop up and go, "Yo, Savage!" He goes, "Oh, hey, Grudge, guys, this is Grudge." You see that they have their guns out, and he goes, "Bro, it's been a good chunk of time, hasn't it?"
There is definitely like a look of just like I think Kubo is just like disconnected with reality right now. But he's just like,
Yeah.
"Sure, God, what the fuck? What does he look like, if I can ask you? Like that sounds weird, but does he still look like he's super covered, or does he look like I remember?"
So his like whole body outside of his face is covered, and his brow is covered by the hat he's wearing. And it's quite dark, so you can't see a lot of details, but you can tell that the tattoos on his face have changed. That's the best way to say it.
Oh.
You don't have like the education to know what it is or means really, but you know it's been changed from what it was when you last saw him.
Okay. I think that Kubo's a little afraid, not gonna lie, but he's trying to have a brave face. But so yeah, he's just like, "Yeah, okay, yeah."
Well, I
Listen,
don't know.
man. What the fuck?
Today, I've joined sides with the incredible Eogrin guys here. The two guys on the side seem like there's something going on we don't fully understand, and we don't like it. But then he goes, "So I'm sorry to say I'm not going to be helping your little criminal organization kind of bully around Sheen City. So
Yeah, no shit. I knew that when you killed me, dumbass. God damn it. What the fuck?
Hey, you were getting in my way. I just figured it was the
Oh my
best
god,
way to
let's
do
just do
this.
this already. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna just initiate combat.
You see the two feds like start to like pull up their guns, and he goes like, "No, it's okay." He puts up his fist, and he starts getting ready to engage with you.
Hooray.
We're gonna roll initiative here.
Oh, good. I'm actually really afraid.
You see Odina pop out of the bush. He goes, "Is this what was supposed to be happening? Should I do anything?
Don't die!
Do you want me to help?"
Yes! Please?
Okay. Savage like stops and he's like, really?
You fucking kill. I'm not messing around, man.
If you bring yours, I'm gonna bring mine.
Fine, never mind. Odina, don't. It's fine. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just you and me, bro. Okay, let's
No.
do it.
I mean, hey, it doesn't have to be us. I just
calm the fuck down and just get your ass over here.
I just thought we were doing the whole dramatic thing. If you want to have, I mean,
Kubo he just keeps going. Oh, sorry. I got a 15 for initiative.
Okay.
He's channeling divinity too, just so that.
I love that so much.
Oh, family drama.
It's fun, guys. This is a little. He's just in a silly, goofy mood.
It's just, I mean, it's not like I'm not saying you can't have the dragon help you. It's just like
he said no. It's fine. He doesn't want them to shoot her or him. To be honest, he just wants to try to fight Savage, at least for now. I'm gonna die, and then it'll be really embarrassing. It's fine.
You got a 19. So
that's good. I love
he's
that.
He's gonna come out punching you like crazy
that's
here.
So good. I love it so much.
It's a nat 1, 19, 16, 22.
So only 2 of those hit, the 22 and the 19.
Okay, so he just closes in at like boxer speed, just pop, pop, pop. You manage to, with your sword / with evading, just avoid most of his hits. But 2 of those do connect, and they were gonna do. He got really high damage rolls.
Good.
17 damage.
Okay.
And so these are just like, these feel like meteoric, and as they hit, like you can tell there's something on his fists that are crueler than his brass knuckles that he usually uses.
Okay.
You can tell you've been punctured a little bit here.
Good for me. That's fine.
He's gonna do flurry of blows. Take another jab at you here with 2 hits. I kind of made up a stat block. It's not quite monk, but it's monk-like.
Oh yeah, it's monk-like for sure. Yeah, that's fine.
15 to hit and then 10 to hit.
What?
15 and then 10 to hit.
Neither of those hit.
Great. Wow. Okay. So you're in the flow. You get like 2 hits, but only 2 of 6 punches that he pops off at high intensity connect. Your turn.
Just gotta believe in good karma here, folks. Okay. So we're gonna do my 2 just attack actions. So I got 123 to hit, and then I got a 19 to hit.
That'll for sure hit both.
Oh sweet. Okay, so let's roll the damage. Kubo does 19 damage to him.
19?
Yes.
Wow.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
I mean, like Kubo deserves to deal with it.
That's with your sword?
My double-bladed scimitar.
Amazing. Wow. So as he like closes in, you can tell that there's like a practice, like he's like, this is my brother. I know how to handle him. He does a bunch of quick hits, kind of trying to exploit your weak points. And when you come back, you catch him twice bad on his chest. And you hear like the ripping of like cloth and like clothes as you like tear off some of his jacket here. And he like backs up after getting those 2 nasty hits. It was like, oh, holy shit, brother, you're getting practice in. Okay.
I think Kubo would simply respond to being like, what's the deal? Are you ashamed of your ugly mug? Show your teeth, man.
All right, he takes off his hat. You can tell that he has a strange like silver plate installed in his forehead and his brow. And like it's unclear how far back into his hair it goes. But he kind of throws his hat, tosses it back to the people that he's been working with. He just kind of okay, yeah. Takes off his jacket and he rolls up his sleeves. And it becomes more clear. The tattoos that would normally designate him as an agent of the circle have a bunch of really weird, clearly Torellan magical marks. Like it's unclear exactly what this is, but he's got like strange runes on his.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This doesn't have to count to the next time. But since he's technically high, are we doing like the haste spell effect from last time?
We're gonna avoid that for now.
That's fine.
Yeah. It's a little too strong.
That was so broken.
I don't know if it's too strong.
It was so broken. We're all like, yeah.
Cocaine. If I kept that consistent, this show would devolve into cocaine land.
Okay. That's fine.
Drug lords.
Listen,
Um,
I will say though, when he does that, Kubo kind of it does freak Kubo out a little bit. Like there's this look of like, damn, fuck.
okay, okay. He's gonna come back in here, and he's going to attempt to do another series of hits on you. To do a hit, as would be described. That
Love
is
that.
24 to hit. It's another
Okay.
24 to hit. That is a 12 to hit.
Okay.
And only, so those two 12s, we're going to do that damage first before you go any further. That's another 17 HP.
Love that.
And he's going to try and make one of these a stunning strike. So the first of these, a stunning strike. And so he's going to spend that here. And so I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw. I believe
Okay.
that's what it is. Right?
Oh my god. I think I'm just scared to utter it. I got a 10.
Yeah. So his first punch, he gets you really good. And you're like kind of air goes out of your lungs. And then he like puts his hit stuff and does like a backhand strike to your noggin, and it
Love
just
that.
rings your bell. It's just like,
Yeah.
whoa. And so you're stunned. And I might be operating him a little too mean here,
Oh,
but
you sure? I don't
this
know
is the
about that.
story.
Wow.
He's
I
going
wonder.
to exhaust another key point and do another flurries of blows. And now that you're stunned,
Fuck him.
it's going to be with advantage here. That's 22, 25. So that's a 25 to hit, and then that is a 23, 16 to hit.
I love that for him so much.
So yeah, that's another 2 here. This is a little lower, so that is only 9, 15 damage.
Oh wow.
Um,
I will say this time as he gets hit, like I don't know, but I think that actually I don't know if I can talk.
yeah, you're stunned. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're stunned.
never mind.
You're not able to do that. So let me make sure I get this stunning strike right, because I want to make sure I'm not. Here it is. There we go. Until the end of your next turn. Okay, so I don't think you get a save. So I think this turn, like on your turn, you're just stunned until the end of Savage's next
That
turn.
is so good. I love that
Yeah.
so much.
It's the only thing that makes monks usable.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
extremely
I'm gonna
good.
go down again. I can feel it in my bones, so it's great.
So as this is
You're at a hospital.
Hey,
he kind of like and you're like trying to get your bearings right here, trying to like see straight. He turns back to his buddies and he goes like, hey, look at me, you guys didn't need the guns after all, right? Hey, and I kind of points off. This is more charismatic than your brother has ever been with you. But he goes, okay, buddy, well, let's have one more set of them, huh? And he's going to come in and do another series of hits to do a hit on you, because you have to spend your round stunned. I think Odina's over the hedge like, are you sure?
he's gonna die. No, he's going to die. It's so funny. I love it. It's hilarious.
Sorry, I'm not counting these. I'm just rolling for fun, apparently. I'm not doing a great job. Okay, it's 11. But first is with advantage a miss. 18, 15, so that's an 18 to hit. Does that hit? And so these are all of his bonus attack, and that's a 25 to hit. So he hit twice.
No, I'm gonna go down. It's okay.
You're gonna go down? Okay, so that's
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go down. Oh my god.
so sorry.
Well, you're not. It's okay. It's fine, but you're not.
That's 23 to hit. That's not so 23 damage. Oh my gosh, that'd be wild. 8, 13.
Okay. I'm not down yet.
Okay, so he goes
Oh,
pop,
Jesus.
pop, pop. Now he does have enough key points to go for another flurry of blows here.
Wow, I guess you gotta make a hard decision, don't you? It's so fine. It's just very funny to me.
Oh. Yeah, he
fuck.
has been doing a lot more than he should be allowed to do. I am sorry about that. I'm gonna do one more flurry
You're
of
not
blows
sorry.
attack because he can do one more. That would be 320. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to figure out because he needs to do like a performance check here, basically. You got a really low performance check. So you see, you were trying to like stumble back from your sun condition, and now that he is like in the flow, he is just relentlessly just bah, 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 like punching you. And then you see as he gets close, he plants his arm on your right shoulder and then like swings around you quickly and gets you basically into like a headlock. And is like ready to punch you out in the face, basically like hit you like this. And so he got a 3 on his performance check, but he's trying to do this so that his buddies can see it. And he tries to whisper in your ear, but accidentally says it a little later. He's like, "Hey man, hey, just calm down, just calm down, just calm down. I'm just gonna do this not lethally, and then you're dragging."
I don't hit. Can I bite him? Even though I'm
You can
stuck.
bite him.
I want to. No, I don't want to just bite him. Sorry, I want to use my horns. I want to jab up at his face.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he uses, rather than finishing his last key attack, he's gonna try and hold you in a headlock, and instead of using his punch to like basically coup de grace you and like put you under, because he got a nat 20 on that punch, he's basically like, hey, it's okay. And rather than, so at the end of his turn, it's now your turn. You're able to take actions because the stun condition ends.
I also just realized that I've been playing Kubo wrong. I should have been adding +2 damage to a lot of those hits. That's fine. I love that for me. That's okay.
I'll add 2 damage. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
I'll add 4 damage there. Yeah.
Yeah. This is interesting. Okay, so he's stuck in a headlock again. It's like a childhood memory. No, I hope not. Okay, I don't know what to do because I feel like I'd have to break out. But then if I did that, would it? I still have my swords. Well, do I want to die? He's gonna kill me either way. Hey, so if I riddle me this, DM. So I still got my swords and stuff. Could I slice him? Still?
You're restrained, or let me look up the rules for.
If he has me in his head and I'm like here like this, could I just like?
You can just stab him. Yeah, you can just
Yeah,
attack
I
him.
just want to stab him. Can I just do that with him?
1 second. She grappled. Yeah, you can attack him. There's no being grappled doesn't give you disadvantage on hitting him. I
So
thought
hold on, I gotta think about this.
So yeah, you can just use your attacks as normal.
Okay, so I can usually hit twice with 2 actions. I'm sorry that this is taking so much time, everyone. I'm actually going to only use one of them though, because I'm gonna try to heal him, I think.
Heal Kubo?
Yeah, with his laying on hands, I think he should just heal himself, touch himself. I'm so sorry. Heal himself a little bit, and then I think he should stab his brother, or attempt to.
I think you can only do one or the other.
I can do one or the other. That would make sense. That would be a little too OP.
Hands is a full action.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, if anything, Kubo is, as the kids call it, spiteful. So I get 2 23s to hit.
23 to hit?
2 23s to hit.
2 23s to hit. Both of those hit for sure.
Okay, let's then I only do, let's see, I added everything, right? Yeah, I did. And then I do 15 damage from these slashes.
Okay, so we did talk about this before. You do have a thing called Divine Smite, and you are hitting him.
Okay, so can I do that? The only reason I don't know if I can do it, sorry, is if it's like a part of this. Okay, then I would like to do that.
Well, it's radiant, which, assuming he's also an ASMR, would be half damage.
Well, I don't know if he still is, man. Wait, maybe it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, he didn't change his race.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I can do 2d8 extra damage to target plus 1d8 for each spell. I think I have 1 second spell slot left. So okay, I'm gonna actually do 3d8
Yeah.
because we're in a silly, goofy mood. Okay. Let's see the dice. Okay, so that's 30 points of damage total. I mean, like, including what I already did. I got another 15
Oh.
damage. So now it's 30, not 15.
So that would be 15.
Including
Plus
rounded-
15.
half.
Oh, you can
So
half it. Yeah.
So 15 slashing is not half, but the 15 radiant would
Yes.
be half rounded up to 8.
Yes.
And so that would be 23.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have your swords. You like put them into a back hold. You jab into him while he's grappling you. I'm gonna say fully releases. As he releases, you can see like more of his like body is revealed, and it looks like there have been like metal inlays put in certain parts of his body. Like he's been modified seriously. But as you do this, you realize he's not healed up all the way. Whatever they've done to him, he hasn't like recovered from the operations yet. And as you like stab into him, he's like, okay, shoot him, guys, come on. And they pull out their guns and they're gonna take your initiative orders.
I'm gonna go down. I'm just kidding. But I'm trying to.
I'm gonna tell you, without a wisdom check, he is seriously messed up. You guys are both on death story here. So I'm gonna roll for Odina and for the feds. Odina goes first.
Oh, God bless America. Okay.
So they're prepared. They can jump in. You just tell her come help her.
Yeah. Well, he's just like he's like, oh my God. He's high in a lot of ways right now.
I just absolutely love that. This is kind of dissolved into like a childhood brawl, which is kind of what it was from the beginning, but now it's like even more so. Like,
well, I can't believe that actually worked, because I was like, I'm gonna go lights out, but not yet.
Well,
I just want to make him scared. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so he needs to make a concentration saving throw. He fails, and he takes. Ooh.
She's the greatest.
Ooh.
She's the greatest.
So 12d6 poison damage.
Oh my God. This is incredible.
I just got to make sure she doesn't actually kill him, which she might actually be able to do here.
Right. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. Well, you know what? She's just girl bossing right now. I don't know, man. Like, good for her.
So 34 points of damage. So you see that it looks very strange because she's still polymorphed, but Odina just like puts her hands to her mouth and like exudes this incredible, huge like plume of poison gas onto your brother, who was separated and was like preparing to engage again. And you cannot see him in the smog, but you hear a thump and he goes down.
Can Kubo just yell at her like, "You're incredible! Oh my God! Thank you."
Now the police officers are going to enter the initiative and take shots at you. Not police, but feds. That's going to be a 20 to hit and a 6 to hit. Excuse me, a 9 to hit.
Okay, only one of them hits. It's okay.
Yeah, that's 10 damage.
Yeah, so I go down.
Okay.
Incredible.
You pop. You hit your knee and go unconscious. And I'm going to do some rolls just to illustrate how this goes down, but you can't hear this. I'm going to just to kind of start to connect stuff here. Leo, you hear some gunshots upstairs, and there's a general panic in the hospital as people are like, holy, like they're worried they're not safe here.
I will hobble towards said direction. How much health do I have? Am I full health?
You have like, now that she's healed you, I'm going to say you're full health, but you don't get any of your spell slots back.
No, I waste so many.
Yeah, you hear just general pop, 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 get her, get the lady, get the lady. And you hear just all sorts of stuff going on. Yeah, whatever Leo would like to do.
Oh, am I there? I don't know how fast I
No. You're not even close. Like you're very far away from what's happening here. But you do hear the chaos above you die down, and kind of the rest of the hospital died like quiet off as well. But I'm gonna say that as you are finishing, or as you're like trying to hobble upstairs, you see like this poor lady is just being magically compelled to help you. She's like, up the stairs? Okay, no, I'm on the stairs. And I'm gonna say you're probably at a point now where you're healthy enough to walk on your own. But you see feds like carrying a body with them out into the hospital for treatment. And you also see just a bunch of feds leaving. You just see a bunch of people like, okay, we're going to get out. Yeah, you can kind of inspect stuff.
They left with just a body, like one single body bag?
You saw a steaming green fume exuding body being carried by two people into the building, and they disappeared into an emergency wait.
Do it. Don't do it. Do whatever you want. I'm sorry.
Are they going to where people were running away from?
If you were to walk in there, it'd basically be like saying hello to Vavin and his forces, potentially, from what you've seen here. But from what you understand, they wouldn't hurt you. Like you could like get a visual and see what the thing was, but they'd probably just like basically walk around you to get out of the way, because Vavin is like kind of imposed a no touchy on Leo thing, or that's kind of the vibe you get, because none of them are seeing you. Like they're seeing you, recognizing you, and they're not stopping you. You know.
Oh, but he loves touching my hands. Fine, I'm gonna go slowly skedaddle towards where they dragged this green steamed body.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, you I'll go into the hospital. You see that they've like torn off his shirt and stuff to avoid like, you know, any complications with that. This guy is seriously messed up. You cannot like, yeah.
Doesn't Leo's met Savage? Would he recognize him?
Yeah. I'm gonna say roll me a medicine check here. But yeah, you can tell like this guy's like face is now like looks deformed, looks like it has some strange like reactive results to whatever poisonous gas is sprayed on him.
Oh my god.
He is like it's hard to discern his tattoos, but you can tell that this person does have a lot of pretty extensive tattoos on his body, and his skin was originally like this green color.
Oh dang! I got 21 for medicine. 21.
21. Yeah, this is Savage, and he has been. I'm sorry if people don't like me swearing, let me know. But he has been kind of fucked beyond recognition. Like you can see that like his skin is seriously injured. He is in enormous pain, going in and out of consciousness, and they're doing their best to heal him from this very potent dragon poison.
So it's definitely dragon poison. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with the 21 medical, you can tell like there's not a lot that can screw a person over this bad.
Would I know any dragons that secrete poison breath?
2 dragons in your life, Ephrodine and Odina. Ephrodine was killed in a building, and you know Odina somewhere, and Odina is a green dragon that has poisonous breath.
Okay, I was like, I've never seen her do breath, so I don't know dragons.
Just to simplify this stuff, because I want to kind of get to our next arc here a little bit. Roll me a perception check, just in general.
Oh, most definitely. And then I'm leaving after that. I'm going away from that situation.
So fair.
Perception. Betty's, my eyes. Okay. My eyes tell me a 20, a dirty 20.
As you're sitting there, you see a form being carried by another form with big, scary dragon wings descend off of the hospital ceiling. And
I'm waving.
You're waving.
But no, like two-handed SOS wave thing. Like, guys, me.
Oh,
me,
we failed.
look at
Oh
me.
God, we failed. Oh.
In my hospital gown.
Yeah, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna roll a perception over here too. Yeah, do you like come over and open the window at all? Do you like, because like they won't get in your way, they're just gonna kind of
I was thinking of just like running out the building because you said I saw them leap off.
No,
right?
you can just run out. Yeah, you try
yeah.
and like wave.
I was definitely trying to like run out the building.
Dinah doesn't recognize you, period. Like she doesn't even recognize someone's waving at her because you're like inside the building and all that. But as you're leaving, you kind of see a Lavin kind of shaking his head, going and click this. He's like over Savage, and he goes like, "Looks like we have more work to do, my brother." And as you leave, he goes, "Goodbye, mwah, mwah."
Ignoring.
You gotta blow some kisses
Oh,
after
I
you.
kind of ruined.
Dodging from behind.
Oh, Jesus.
Dodging from behind. Miss me with that gay shit. Okay. But yeah, you get out of the building, and I think it's like, we're just gonna simplify this a lot. You can very quickly see where Odina wins. She has some bullet wounds in her, and you can see Deza in the car going like, "Come on," and then they like turn and see you, and they're like, "Come on."
I skedaddle in and throw my cane in first, and then me.
This is so funny. Oh my God. Okay.
So with kind of the epilogue resolved here, I forgot to share the music. I'm so sorry. I was telling myself, share this music as soon as this fight starts. Here's some music for that little engagement there. But as this all resolves, we have some downtime here a little bit, not in the sense of like we can do whatever we want, but in the sense of like the initial tragedy is over. The initial calamity is over. And there's a lot of stuff that people figure out as time goes on here. And it's kind of like the news stories. According to the news, Senator Peterson is fully dead. Last thing the news knew, Senator Peterson was flown by Everdeen to her horde, and then Everdeen's horde exploded and collapsed in such a way that killed everyone that couldn't get out. And so, like, to a lot of those people, it's just like, oh, so Senator Peterson died there. And so when the vote comes and passes and he doesn't show up, people are just like, oh, he died. So people, like, he doesn't come to vote. And the feeling of the city is very much like, everything's changed. We're terrified. I don't know what to expect about anything. You know, like the vibe of the city has turned kind of dark in that way. And so, like, it's hard to know exactly why he didn't show up, but kind of the prevailing theory for people in the Cadros household, like the butlers, the people that are in the know, are just like, it got too hot for him. He was just like, hey, they think I'm dead? Good. And he just disappeared. And never came back to the city because he saw a bunch of people die. And there's kind of that whole sentiment in a lot of ways. Time just kind of moves on. They start planning for this funeral for Efferden because she was such a public figure. And that's kind of the only thing we get here. But if we are all right with this, I want to do a rewind back to maybe about 3 or 4 days before the tower collapses. Is that all good with people? Anybody want to say anything there? Leo, you get attention, of course, and you have time to figure out your next summon, but we will do that after this introduction. Is that all good?
Yeah, I had like a whole thing I have to do with the team, so it has to be later.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I have one quick question. After, I'm assuming Kubo is revived. Is that okay?
Yes, yes, you are.
Cool. And I'm gonna guess that they would have spoken to Leo and figured out that Leo was like, Leo, do you think you'd have told them like, oh yeah, your brother was absolutely just fucked up, like,
Yes.
Jesus.
And I left him
Okay.
there immediately.
I think Kubo is gonna ask if they can like anonymous drop off like flowers or something at the hospital. Then they're like, I'm sorry, because he feels bad about it. But you don't have to let that happen.
I think you do, and the entire staff is totally baffled because everything, like, Savage has been gone for days. There's no, like, he is.
Oh, shit.
They did like emergency care and got him to their own facility.
That's good.
Like this was all Black Ops stuff. And so, like, yeah, in world, there's just a flowers for Alexander at the Sheen City Hospital that are not touched. No one knows who's there for, and they're just there.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
So so about 4 days before this, we cut to a high-rise, very luxurious flat that is in the depths of Sheen City. Rachel, how do you picture this flat being decorated? How do you picture this? Like, what do you think this looks like for you?
I apologize in advance. I can't talk very loud.
We can hear you very well, so it's okay.
Okay, good. Got my fancy microphone. I hope that would help. I imagine it very eclectic, just kind of like random trinkets and gizmos and doodads from various different countries, and just kind of like very like collector's hoarder type situation. Like it's very nice, like everything has a place, but there's just like so much stuff. Very like Howl's Moving Castle room vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. To expand on that, I think like like you're saying, it's just so much travel. Whoever lives here has done so much travel, spend a lot of time there just enjoying themselves. But yeah, it's cozy. It's a very nice large apartment, but it feels cramped because there's so much stuff in here. And all of it has, I imagine a story, but it's not like, all that. But into this scene walks your character. Would you like to describe Margaret and give her your full name and everything?
Yes. So Margaret, or you can call her Marge, Schneider, is a very old lady. She's kind of bent over. She's very leathery looking. She spent a lot of time in the sun throughout her life. And she was a soldier, actually. So despite looking very old and fragile, she's quite a hardy woman, I suppose you could say. And she's just kind of got like really wiry, frizzy hair that's like always tied up out of her face, out of her way. And she's really short. She's like maybe 4'10".
Wow, really short. Okay. So she walks in. We're gonna say this is in the morning, so she might be making breakfast, and you actually, like you very often do, have a guest in your home using one of your guest rooms. And as you're kind of starting breakfast, making what you would normally make to kind of a tabaxi woman, very, very pretty coloration, on the younger side, just barely like into her career. She might be like late 20s. Walks in and she goes, "Oh, Margaret, it's so good to stay here. You make my trip so easy. You know that. And she's just is very grateful. She goes, "What's for breakfast this morning?"
Sorry. My throat.
Sorry about that. It's okay.
I'm so sorry. Margaret's just kind of shuffling around, like listening, but she doesn't really like take her attention away from what she's doing. And she's like, oh no, it's no problem having you here. I don't mind. And she's like, as long as you don't mind my lousy cooking. And she's just got like 2 bits of toast and just like copious amount of beans and nothing else. She is a woman of habit. And that's all she eats in the morning.
Wow. Priscilla kind of looks at it and goes, "Oh, I, I like beans. Yeah, that sounds great." She sits down to eat with you. Priscilla is one of your many social connections that you have like the one of the best flats in the city in terms of like locality to everything and just like ease of access. And so a lot of times you kind of have like a little small niche of social friends that like when they're traveling and doing stuff. And this is one of your favorite guests because she is an archaeologist, but in the very fun way of she goes out there and finds cool stuff and brings it back. And every once in a while, she will kind of leave something with you for safekeeping with kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like it's kind of a gift. And as she gets set up, she goes, "Well, this is a big trip I'm going to be on. I'm probably going to be gone for I don't know a good month, you know. But through different means, I want to leave this guy with you." She kind of reaches into her bag. She's like started to get ready. You know, this has kind of been a morning process. You know, she's gotten ready for her day, and she reaches into her bag and she pulls out this very intimidating looking handle. It looks like it's a literally like just like the handle of the hilt of a sword, and it's kind of got like for any like lack of any other description, it just looks super hellish. It just looks like it's black and mottled and everything. She goes, "So yeah, I found this recently. I haven't had time to like identify it and everything, but you know, I was traveling in the far east, or you know, like I was recently, and I just wanted to leave this with you here because I know I can trust you with it, and it's just a little more conspicuous that I can bring with me through customs. You know how that is. So.
I mean, imagine a crazy sword like that. We wouldn't get very far, ma'am.
Right, yeah, it looks pretty bad, but you know, I've brought other stuff. She kind of points to some of the stuff in your apartment, and one of them is like a shield that just has a screaming face emblazoned on it, and that's like in one corner of your room. And then like another one is just you've taken great care of that. I know I can always come back to get that if ever you know it becomes archaeologically significant. And you know, like she like points to a handful of other things like that are like some of them are really hellish, other ones are like divine in nature, some of them are just cultural oddities. But in a weird way, this is kind of like you're kind of her cool off space for like giving them to museums. So like so a museum won't like you know hound her and stuff. But like you have like I said, you have a lot of relationships with a lot of people. And so but ultimately she's like, "Hey, thank you so much." She kind of finds a place in a display case to prop it up. She goes, "Cool. Okay. Well, Margaret, as always, the beans were great. I'm gonna get set off on my trip, and you ever need it? Are you good? Are you? We always come and go. Are you happy here? I mean, are we just like you know? Am I not abusing your hospitality? I just want to make sure you're happy that you know.
Not at all. Not at all. Me, myself, and I takes care of most things, and I'm just happy to share what I have. So don't even worry about it.
Oh, okay. Thanks. She kind of comes in to give you just kind of a parting hug, and if you'd allow that, is she a hugger, Marge?
Yeah, she's a back-breaking hugger.
you, you give her a spine testing, like just. She's like, oh wow, you know, she enjoys your energy, and she leaves. Because yeah, if you could take a moment, describe what like a day is for Marge.
Marge, at least when she is in the country, her life can be pretty quiet sometimes because it's kind of like recovery periods between like going out and traveling, and she likes to be around in case somebody needs her. So she spends a lot of time in her apartment when she is home, just kind of like looking through memorabilia, like reflecting on her life, maybe toying a little bit with some of the safer things that have been left in her keep, just out of curiosity. But she doesn't. Today, anyway, is a quiet day, so she just kind of finishes her beans and grabs a book and shuffles to this comically oversized armchair that she has in her living room.
Her 410 frame barely fits in and everything, and
Yeah.
you know, all this stuff. I'm gonna say Priscilla is one of the only guests that you've had in a long while, and it's been maybe a little lonely. But yeah, you open up this book, start to thumb through. But I'll say that maybe you know, and I don't want to make decisions for your character, so stop me if you know you don't think this is how she would act. But there is at a certain point some loneliness kind of set in, like you just kind of feel like I've been reading here for a while, and there is a place in the city that's kind of one of Marge's kind of frequent haunts. You know, it's a place that is very relaxed, but also like has a lot of young people going, and it is a I guess, I mean, stop me, Matt, if this is not a great description of it, because this is kind of entering into some of your realm here. But it's a shop called Way So Serious. And it's kind of like you can always find someone there who wants to play a game of chess. It's kind of like a place where like they do education, but they also do, you know, like it's kind of it's a very multi-faceted spot. But they definitely have classes specifically about like how to play chess and all that stuff. And you know, it's an easy place to go to just to like be around people, basically. And so, is that something that you think your character would be interested to doing in kind of breaking the monotony of the day?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Matt, are you in a place to kind of do some stuff here?
I'm kind of fading, honestly.
You're a little ill here. Okay. So this actually works out. That's totally fine. So we'll say that you do go to this place to play chess. You have a odd visit, is the best way to describe it. Just felt like a lot of things were falling over. And we'll kind of talk about that more when we get back to you know, that scene, when Matt's feeling more up to it, and we can kind of do a better of an introduction here. But it fits in the story that Marge would think this was a very unimpressive visit. Not a lot of things happening. So that continues. It's about another 3 days. That's a little lonely. Priscilla seems to be out of town for a longer trip. There's not a lot to do to kind of break up the monotony. And maybe in kind of an existential horror kind of a situation, life is normal. You know, nothing really happens. It's kind of just like the mundanity of life just kind of continues. And then one day, you're just kind of having a normal day in your armchair reading, and you hear panics and screams coming from outside of your apartment, and you hear a series of small explosions and people screaming and rushing out of a building somewhere. And it's spooky, but you can hear it right from your window. So you could like go out on your patio and like, you know, your kind of patio is a strong word, but yeah, you know, you kind of your outside facing area. Would you do so? What's your instinct here?
Yeah, immediately she like hucks whatever book she's got in her lap and jumps to her feet and like scuttles to the window as fast as she can.
You scuttle over to the window, and yeah, you see that the Efferden's building, which is a woman that you've met once or twice, but she's a little high energy. She's a little hard to be around sometimes, but she's this you know, silver dragon woman that is a well-known socialite and, you know, very well connected. She's a lot. And she owns that building, and that's kind of like a, you know, thing. You see that people are gushing out of it. People are running, trying to escape this building. And as you're watching, huge collapse. The entire building collapse. Mortar dust shoots through the alleyways of the city, and you're getting like not blasted anyway, but you're like plaster and like rubble and just kind of this cloud of explosive just stuff is kind of expelled out over the city. And it's hard not to cough. You see people like panicking and running. What's going through your mind? Like what's happening here?
I mean, I imagine for Margaret anyway, like the soldier instincts would kick in. Like she would want to run down there and like try to help and like try to get people out or get them somewhere safe or get them inside. So they're not breathing in all the like rubble.
Yeah. So do you like outfit yourself at all? You kind of get dressed in more like outside clothes or what, like go through your process here.
I imagine she's already dressed for the day. She doesn't really waste time changing anything. She just tugs on like some really old worn boots that she keeps by the door and a mask that she keeps by the door as well because she's hella paranoid. So she always has it there.
Like a gas mask?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, incredible. Yeah, so you go full like I'm prepared for combat in my city. Okay, you start going down. As you're going down, do you take the stairs or the elevator?
Takes the stairs.
Takes the
She's
stairs.
just thundering. She's like,
Yeah, go as fast as you can. As you're taking the stairs and you open your door or you kind of go outside, you see a woman that you know enter the building. And it is a woman that you know, her name is Adlaria. And she is a wood elf. She's an older woman. She sees you coming and goes, oh, Marge, where are you going? She has a bag on her that is clearly a very large rifle. She goes, oh, where are you going? Hey, this woman is very well connected, but she's very polite to you, and she stays over about as frequently as Priscilla does. She goes, whoa, I can barely see under that gas mask.
dude, I'm kind of in a rush. We can do this later. Like I'm trying to. Did you not see what just happened outside?
Yes, of course. Can I just get on your balcony? Would that be bad? Would that be something? Can I just use your keys and get on your balcony?
Wait, sorry, real quick. Did you say the rifle's in a bag or does she just have like a literal rifle slung over her shoulder?
I think at this point she just has a rifle on her shoulder.
Okay. Okay, so I imagine Marge would take a second, like peek around her back and be like, what's going on?
Hey, so you recognize, you don't even need to roll for it. She is on the verge of tears. She goes, so, Kyle, that guy, we talked about him a little bit before. He, I gotta shoot, I gotta kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I just need to get on your balcony. I need to get on your balcony.
Marge, she just kind of like rubs her arms and she's like, hold on.
It's okay. I mean,
breathe in. Breathe out. Start over for me, hon.
She manages to keep it together, but basically she tells you that Kyle seems to have destroyed the building that Ephrodine was in. And Kyle, as far as you knew, was basically just this like scoundrel card player that she was romantically entangled with Adlaria. And Adlaria is, you have never seen Adlaria emotionally compromised in any way, shape, or form. She is normally like a card playing, high wheeling, fast dealing like stuff. And so you have caught her in a very, very strong moment of weakness. And basically she's just like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna shoot him because he thinks this is payback for something he did before, and this is way beyond payback. This is too much.
Marge like takes off the gas mask because they're not outside yet, I assume.
Yeah.
She just kind of like rubs her face. It's like, okay. Okay. And turns
Wow.
around to take her back to the apartment.
Great, yeah. So you guys go up, you go up into the apartment, and you see that she gets posted very quickly. She works as fast as she can, gets lined up to take a shot, and she goes, he's turning himself in. He's turning himself into the police. So
Shit.
she kind of puts down the gun.
Now, why would he do that?
I don't know. I'm so sorry. I've abused your hospitality. This is too much. I'm so sorry that I knew that you had such a good vantage point on the building, and so I was like, I knew where to go to take my shot, and I'm.
No, don't apologize. Are you okay? Do you need anything?
Well, No, I'm not okay, and I don't think I'll be okay for a good chunk here. She starts to cry again, and she's just kind of messed up here. But it seems like, it seems like there is a lot to do. After this kind of things, it sounds like you're going for it. So Granny comes out and starts helping people out of the rubble. You manage to save a handful of lives, or at least make it less likely that people don't die through your proactive effort. And it's very sweet. I mean, I think that that's something really sweet. Adlaria would probably stay for you for a day or two. She kind of needs a place to cool down after all this is going on. And is there anything that you'd like to ask her, or like information that you want from her while she's staying with you?
I think Marge is curious, but she's going to hold her tongue for now. I think she recognizes that her friend is going through it, as the kids say. She's just gonna let her be.
I think that there are a couple moments where like Adlaria comes up to like get some feelings out a little bit, kind of like try and unpack stuff. And as she like goes to do it, she like stops and just kind of takes care of herself and kind of self-medicates more. And I think that you over time you kind of get the feeling that she trusts you a lot, but that she doesn't want to like kind of inconvenience you. And also like she appreciates that you're not bringing it up. So eventually she does leave, and she's just very grateful, very effusive. And this is where the storylines are going to converge here. So anything else you'd like to do with your introduction here? I didn't give you a ton of choices here, but I just wanted to kind of establish.
No, that's good. I'm okay.
Okay, great. So the next kind of big event here is Effordine's funeral. And this will be about like a full week and a half after the events of this tower collapsing, which has subverted the narrative of local politics so dramatically, because like people, everybody was so obsessed with this whole Divines, bit of Divines legislation they were putting in to like make everybody leave. And there's been more and more of these like events of people dying and then becoming demons or ghosts immediately afterward, and that's just been steadily increasing. And so there's been this like, because of this like building collapse, everything is thrown into chaos, and kind of like the whole consensus of the whole city is just kind of like, it's too much. Yeah, Kubo, what's up? You raised your hand? Oh, no. So I'm going to say that just because we're about an hour left, if we're being generous, and I don't know if we're going to be using the whole hour here, but this will kind of introduce our next problem here. And so before we do this is kind of a last dance call. Leo, Kubo, and Marge, is there anything that you want to do in this week and a half that you think will have mechanical impact before this funeral? Yeah, Kubo.
Is this the opportunity to date Odina on a real date, or is it later?
It would be an opportunity to ask her. It is unclear a lot of stuff. But
I
that's
know.
something that you could request.
I will let everyone else talk now. I don't want to take up too much time.
I would well as soon as I got in the car after, like on that same day, I would definitely tell Kubo right then and there that I was told that Kyle died, and like with no confirm, like no real proof. I was just told.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's true or not.
So assuming that I was revived in the car, I think that Kubo is kind of just like, oh my god. Well, that that guy, he's so hard to fucking kill though. Like, is that real or like?
I don't know. And where do we start to look? That is like that was like
So
my
the
main thing.
feds are really the Yagran dwarves, which means there's some corruption. But
So you think they're just gonna have him in the station? I would think some secret
I'll tell you
military
what.
thing.
Let's reach out to some of. I'm not Kyle by any means. Maybe some of I could talk to some contacts. Maybe people know some things, and we could just actually try to figure out if anyone knows if he's actually dead or if it's like a cover up. Maybe. I just don't. I feel like it's hard to believe he's dead. I also though was dead. It felt a couple of minutes ago. So who can say?
Same here. So
I'm a piece of shit, Leo. Oh my god. But he does more cocaine and looks.
yeah, I was like, let's just cocaine and go home.
Yeah, go do some cocaine.
And I would spend like the rest of my weeks studying and getting ready for a new summon, and that'll be it.
Okay, sounds good.
So
So would you like to do that scene now, Kubo?
you tell me for like spacing. Would you rather we do this thing and then I ask her out, or what?
We've got a full hour, and I don't think we're gonna use the full hour here. So I'm gonna say you can either, so we've talked about this outside of the table. You can either interact with Odina or try to, or you can confront your father
I think I'm
about
gonna
both.
go for Odina first, and I'm gonna avoid Peregrine probably and Ariana a lot in the household after whatever happened to Savage happened. One second. My dog is being silly. But I think that the next time, however that works, that like Odina's around, Kubo's just gonna be like, is gonna approach and be like, hey, like, is this a good time, like, to talk for like a second?
Yeah. So are you gonna call her, or is Odina like coming to the house a bunch?
You tell me. I don't know. Does she hang out at the house a lot, or is
I
she
don't
like?
think she would.
I don't
I think she
either.
would be kind of nervous. And also, I think she would feel bad not knowing how much your family knows about how she seriously messed up your brother potentially. But
Okay.
yeah, there's some strange feelings. I could think the feeling that like Peregrine, when he hears, you kind of see this moment of him going like, "Oh," and it doesn't like hurt him as much as you kind of wish it would. He just kind of thinks it's interesting.
You're making it really
Um,
hard for me not to confront Peregrine, but that's good. But no, I'm going to try to call Odina and ask her on a date, and if it fails, then I'll go beat up my dad. So good for me.
okay, sounds good. Yeah, Ariana is much more affected, but she's also colder than you'd probably like.
Oh, I
But
believe it.
yeah,
Oh, I believe it. Let's not do that right now, though, please.
you
Okay.
call Odina, and she picks up, and she's just like, "Oh, hello, this is the Fluellen Private Eye. How may I help you?"
Oh, hello. Is this Odina? This is Kubo.
Oh, hey, yeah. Is everything good? Have you heard anything about stuff?
No, but I'm so sorry. Not to be too bold, and I hope that this doesn't catch you at a bad time. But I was wondering if you would like to maybe hang out. I'm so sorry because my dog is like playing with her toy.
Yeah, I can hear it. It's very funny.
Here, but I'm gonna hold on one second. Okay, one second. Okay, we're good.
It's okay. It doesn't bother us that much.
But just like yeah, I know things have been like weird lately, but maybe we could go out and do something to clear our heads. Would you like to go on a date with me, perhaps?
Oh, you used the word. I'm so proud of you. You were dancing around that for a long while.
Uh,
Sorry, yeah. No, sorry. I didn't mean to call you out like that. I
no,
just,
you're fine. You're right.
that'd be
I'm
totally fine. Should I come by your place or my place or what do you want
well,
to
whatever feels best. Would you care if I
do?
picked you up? I
No,
feel like that'd
no,
be
no.
chivalrous.
Yeah, we're there. We know each
Okay,
other
that's
that
good.
well. Can you what would you do? Would you tell her what you're doing? Would it be a surprise?
I think that he definitely would like throw some things her way to see like what she wants to do. And so one of the things that he's planned is that there's like this sort of like aquarium-y thing by the pier. Like, because remember from his backstory as a kid, he loved to go to like that aquarium or do stuff with water. He's like, I really love that. I don't know if you do. If you don't, that's fine. We
No,
could.
that's adorable. I don't think I've gone myself. Yeah, no, that's great.
Oh, sick.
She comes when you pick her up. She's dressed for like just a normal day on the pier kind of thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like a cute, fun moment under duress. Everybody is clearly kind of stressed out a little bit. But yeah.
I will say that Kubo is wearing a disguise this time.
Yes. Okay. You're wearing a disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like well dressed. It kind of looks like more socializing than a real date.
Like
Like
he's still got his like sort of suit and like it's like business casual for him, but like I think that she hopefully would be able to tell at this point that like that is about as like easy go lucky as he goes, at least currently.
yeah. As you pick him up, she's like, "Oh, I like the disguise. It looks nice on you. I'm not doing the wings, so you know.
Oh, you can do the wings if you want. You look great.
I don't think I
Oh,
want to.
okay, okay, yeah. Well, I figured. I was
Uh,
like,
Roll an insight on her, and we'll just say this is happening as you're driving to the place.
okay, hold on. Well, shit. I only got a 9.
She's mad at you. She's for some reason upset that and the way you picked her up or how you picked her up.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold
she's
on.
upset.
Okay, so so Kubo's like, oh fuck, I've made her feel like she can't be herself around me. Oh no. But he doesn't say anything. He's just like, oh well, I whatever you feel most comfortable with, that's what is the important thing.
Hey, yeah, hey, it's nice that you check in as much. I just kind of want a distraction. My
Yes,
mom
no
is
worries.
kind
It keeps going.
no, you don't press any further. She goes, okay. You
Oh
drive
no,
there.
well, no, well, I'm sorry. Okay, no. So as he drives, but like, yeah, a little bit towards it, he's just like, yeah, like I just know that things have been really stressful, and I do talk a lot, so I can totally respect your space.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this because it lets you know why I'm kind of low energy or not cool right now. My mom is strong. Flew Ellen, the woman who raised me, is kind of not raised as a traditional dragon would be, kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
sure.
Normally, we're not humanoid at all until you're like an ancient dragon. I've been kind of urbanized, you know. Anyway, I thought it was because she was like an explorer and stuff, and now I find out that it's like I was supposed to be Efraden's replacement, if anything ever like happened to her. And so, like my whole life was a lie. I was super mad at my mom,
Oh God.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, holy shit.
No, it's not great. It's not great.
No,
It's like a really big bummer. But it's not like, it's not your fault. And you wanted to take me out. That's super sweet of you. So I don't want to put that on you.
don't worry about it. Listen, your feelings and emotions are valid, as I hope you already know. But
you don't have to. You really don't have to tell me that. That's okay. You don't.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm just saying, and like, you know what? Listen, Odina, you're super cool, and you really helped me out of some tight spots. I think let's just go have some.
I killed your brother. I probably killed your
You
brother.
didn't. Oh no, you didn't. It's fine.
No,
you didn't.
Like this is really nice of you to say this, but I'm like, I feel like I killed your brother. I probably
Can
did.
I roll insight again? Can I get in bed? Well,
yeah, roll insight.
Okay, maybe this is a little bit better. I got a 10.
She's mad at you. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I think here's another thing. I hope everybody doesn't see that I'm developing a theme of upset women. There's just a lot of upset women in this arc, so I'm sorry about that being a trend.
Well, if insight isn't good enough, and that's fine, can I try perception?
Yes, you can try perception.
I'm just gonna try everything. God damn it! I only got a 9 again, but that's fine. Hey, you know what?
I think that is normal human perception, and I think that this is fair to say that a normal human kind of perceive the best course of action here. She is just overwhelmed. She's
Yeah.
just overwhelmed, and she just kind of wanted a day to get her mind off of stuff.
Well, that's what they're gonna do. Okay.
And, yeah.
So I think, not to cut you off, but Kubo's like, no, you know what? Don't even worry about it. So this aquarium that I'm at, like, this is gonna sound so funny. Do you like seals?
Fucking love seals. We're
Really?
to spare everybody here, because
Yeah.
I don't want to force everybody to basically just
Yeah.
watch a date. You guys have a lovely day. You know, a lovely day, lovely time. You guys kind of get some of this information out. You kind of know more what's going on. I will give you a peck on the cheek. She's very cute about it and decides that she wants to give you a peck on the cheek. But that is not, I'm just saying this because I have given the plot important information about this exchange. And at this point, we are just holding 3 people captive while we go on a
Yes.
date. So
Yes.
we're not going to do that.
Yes, no, we're not. I will say, when she gives him the peck, his face, like, super ready, just go kind of like, oh, thank you, wow, no, and then he
Don't
asks,
overthink it. Don't think about it. No,
and
it's not
he
that
just
big a
wants to
deal.
give her a kiss on the forehead. Oh, shoot.
Okay. Yeah.
She's
you
like,
give
no,
her
no,
a
no,
kiss
I'm
on
sorry,
the
that was weird. And he
forehead.
just,
No,
like,
it's fine.
picks her back and is like,
Okay. Yeah, I'm moving. Goodbye. She leaves. She gets out of the car, goes home. You see, Fluellen is looking out as she comes home, and she just gives you like a long stare.
Kubo is just grinning. He just got kissed by, like, a pretty girl, so he's like, and actually, just however that hits Fluellen is fine, but he's like Cloud9, baby.
Yeah.
Also,
So
if it's okay, he bought her a seal plushie. Okay, now we can move on. Thank
That's
you,
it. Yeah. I will say you guys did do some research to confirm whether Kyle is alive or not.
Good.
You cannot confirm whether he's alive or dead, but you can confirm nobody's seen him. That would normally be, as it is now, almost useless information, because Kyle is a very paranoid, competent rogue that is usually under the radar. So it's like, it feels like he's dead. But I mean, if he had just decided to not be seen, if he wanted to be, your insight is like it would be like he's dead anyway, you know, because he's so good at hiding his tracks. And Peregrine even offers to like use his chip to like signal him a bunch, and he doesn't respond. He doesn't show up anywhere. It's not anything because he has, you know, that chip from the circle. So moving on past there, we're going to go to the funeral.
Big funeral.
Sorry?
The big funeral.
The big funeral, yeah. So this is the music I pictured for this here. And so you can listen to this kind of in the background. But what has happened over the past week and a half is there has been a very large civic duty kind of replacement. This is way faster than this would normally take, but they called in like giants. They called in all sorts of forces to help them move the rubble out of the way. And in the place where her building was, there's now this very beautiful, or will be very beautiful after all the plants are placed, public park. And they have erected a very large silver statue of Ephrodine. I mean, it looks silvery. It's probably not like actually silvery, but so Ephrodine in her humanoid form in the center of the park. On this day, there's supposed to be this huge funeral, fanfare, all this stuff. Now, I assume that pretty much everyone would be here. If not just out of paying respects to Ephrodine, then just being, because I know the Cadresses would be there, not as, Asimar and everything, but as prominent legal, as your mother being a prominent legal person in the city and like handling a lot of high priority cases, they would definitely be here at this funeral. And it's just a gorgeous kind of almost like a fair is a kind of an apt way to describe it. It just kind of feels like people are trying to celebrate Ephrodin's life in this really meaningful way. And it's a little gossamer and sad because this is the place of a lot of death, but they've made a memorial to Ephrodin and the people that died in the collapse of this building. Is everybody still here? I'm just seeing a lot of blank stuff. Is everybody still on board?
Yeah.
CC.
Yeah. Okay. Rachel, you there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm cooking.
Okay. So this gospel choir comes out and starts to sing. That's that music that I gave you here. And this is a Helioic sect that was created after the whole prohibition stuff that went down when they tried to restrict alcohol consumption. Then it came swinging back when everybody refused to. And this is kind of like the live, laugh, love version of the Helioic faith that is extremely like boisterous and loud and intense. And it's the one that Ephraim loved, even though it's like not really Helioic faith worship. It's kind of like it's kind of like the Catholic Church being compared to like a Baptist, like, or maybe not Baptist, but you know what I mean,
Like born again services are really fun, is what I'm thinking of.
Yes, like a born again service. That's a great way to describe it. And so, but what's interesting is there is also a group of this Catholic faith here, and they do this incredible service. Lots of people here, a huge crowd, where people are celebrating Ephraim's life. People are telling stories about her, and it's a lot. It's a lot happening all at once. But Kubo, you as well as a bunch of other people would recognize that Bishop Parsley is on the stand. Bishop Parsley, who's like, the full like Catholic equivalent clergyman, very rail thin, very severe looking. And he is being prepared to make a statement here at the end of this funeral. So does everyone want to take a turn and kind of explain what they're doing here? And I want to offer to Marge that you can see like all of this from your apartment. So you might come down for a little bit to like, get a snack or something or kind of meet people, but you could easily see and hear all the proceedings from your apartment. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm still cooking.
Oh, you're cooking, I see.
I think she would go down though.
You think she'd go down?
Yeah.
Okay.
To pay her respects properly, as well as with some of her socialite friends.
We can't hear you very well when you walk away from the phone or the laptop there. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear that.
Is this okay?
We can hear you a little better now, yeah.
I was just saying, I think she would want to go pay her respects properly and probably meet up with some of her socialite friends.
Yeah. So you go down, you meet with everybody down there. The funeral starts. This music starts up. There's like, it doesn't feel like a funeral in the sense that there's like funnel cake and like it's really like a fair situation. But it feels more like the opening of a park. But yeah, they have a beautiful speech where people are honoring the life of Ephraim, kind of talking about this horrible tragedy. It seems like the public story seems to be like it was a fluke of engineering. Like the building just collapsed. It was too large or couldn't handle the weight of a dragon and all the people, and it's kind of been spun as like a horrible accident of like kind of pride a little bit, like she was just so successful and had so many friends, and it's very paper thin. It's not very deeply believed by the masses, but that seems to be the story to keep things positive here. Oh, hi, cute dog. But to kind of get to the crux of this and kind of the thing that I'm going to introduce here that will dramatically change, and we're kind of going to explore what this means mechanically for everyone here. Leo, I imagine you would be here with kind of like a group from the Cadros family. Kubo, you could be here either with the Cadros family or out in the crowd. Odina would be somewhere here as well as Llewellyn. There's just a lot of public figures here.
Actually, I'm gonna subvert. Oh wait, I'm gonna suggest something. Maybe Tadeza and Kubo are with Odina and Llewellyn because things aren't so good back at home.
Makes sense. Yeah, you're hanging out with her. Llewellyn has a very strong eye on you. But yeah, the time comes for Bishop Parsley to make his announcement. He comes up on the stand. He goes, oh, hello. Oh, is this, oh, yep, it's on. It's on. Wonderful. Hello, my brothers and sisters in Helio. It is wonderful to be here to commemorate the life of such an incredible member of society and her favorite way to express her belief. He says, kind of gesturing at this like raucous, gospel choir. He goes, I have been communing with the heavens upon the instructions from our honored Senator Glorin here, and I know that many have experienced distress or concern at the increasing stories of those from beyond the grave refusing to pass on. I have communicated with Helios and his courts, and he has confirmed to me that this night he shall bring the city of Sheen a miracle. You hear kind of this like, kind of like not sure if this is a positive thing. He goes, the heavens shall come down and remove all hellish influences, all ghosts, all spirits. People will cease coming back from the dead, and he will simplify the traumas and the catastrophes on this plane in the city of Sheen upon our request. And so this kind of starts some like light applause because pretty much everyone in the audience has had something similar to like your bone demon thing happen, where like this crazy, a dead body or just like a normal death turned into like a ghost or something like that. So there's kind of some light applause here. It says, specifically, the language that they gave me in my vision was any unregistered, unlicensed, or unprovoked hellish energy in this plane shall be purged this night at sundown. And you can kind of tell that everyone is like, this is kind of an obtuse offer. It doesn't make a ton of sense, but like you can tell that your father, you can see him go, oh, okay, it's time to go. He starts to try to get people because it's like in the afternoon. He's just kind of like, okay, like he's starting to get people to leave.
So Kubo will like try to low-key exit with Deza then. He's gonna try to follow Peregrine or meet up, I guess.
Yeah.
Bring Leo too if Leo wants to come. Like if he's with them, they'll be like, we gotta go right now, immediately.
Yeah, we're going to explore this a little bit more later on, but I want to come back to Rachel here because this is kind of establishing her character. As you guys start to leave, you guys start to get back to your cars. Roll me a perception check. I want Leo and Kubo to do this.
Yes, they shall grant me sight.
What about a dirty 20?
9.
9. Leo, you've got some funnel cake and are kind of busy eating that on the way out. Kubo, with a 20, you recognize that some of the vans and vehicles here that you thought you recognized from the hospital seem to be here. No, there doesn't seem to be any medical problem or anything like strange kind of like large bulky vans.
I think he's gonna very loudly go, Deza, I think the dwarves are here.
And that's when the gunfire starts. We're going to pull back from there. I'm going to say that's something we'll explore next session, of course. But Rachel, Marge attends this. She gets to see people. It's kind of a lovely break. Adlaria has been gone for a couple days. But you come back to your flat after what was mostly just kind of a fun social event, honestly. Like, it's kind of shocking and horrible that Efferden died like she did, but this was just kind of like a city fair is the best way to describe it. And when you get back to your apartment, you can very clearly see that one of the display cases is filled with smoke.
Like, I don't know, for a moment she's like almost like triggered into fight or flight, like something caught fire in her apartment. But I imagine she would have the good sense to pause for a moment and like that's really weird. Like, why would that happen, kind of thing. So I would say she would approach it, but she would definitely keep one of her daggers on hand as she approaches.
Okay, you approach it. You sense this like low rumbling coming from the case, and you can kind of feel the glass rumbling. It's like,
Oh my god.
um, and he said, "Mortal, you there, yeah, you, outside the case."
She's like, she's not sure if she's like actually hearing that, or she's just
Yeah, she's actually hearing that. It seems to be like being communicated somehow.
she like taps it, like,
No,
hello?
you're at the right spot. Yeah, if you could open it, you might want to open a window first because it is a lot.
Speak up, speak up.
Yeah, no, sorry. So yeah, I'm in here. If you can open the window, because when you open this, there's going to be smoke everywhere, so you're going to want to open that too.
She opens the window and she comes back and like really carefully like opens her display case.
Yeah, it gas pours out of the case, and you see that everything in this case has unfortunately been a little ruined. It seems like there's some heat. There's actually some heat coming off of it, and you see that the item, the relic that be a good chunk of time, almost 2 weeks ago now, that Priscilla left with you, is sitting there, and seems to now have some like where before it was like this sleek black, there seems to be like these hot red lines that are like glowing in it. He goes, "It is I, Stikus, the Dark Blade."
It's like, I'm gonna stop you right there. You ruined my stuff. What is this?
Oh, I'm so sorry. So crisis, or no. I am offering to you a deal that will well exceed the price of your petty baubles here. You can roll me insight checks, and I'll allow you to roll these with advantage because this is very like strange, but like it's clear even from the tone of his voice that he's kind of coming at a weird angle.
Insight. 14.
This guy is trying to rush something. He goes, yes. Accept the power from the great demon sword Stikus.
Just kind of like pulls her arms and like squints at him for a little bit. And she's like, is this supposed to be impressive? Like, who are you? What is
normally it is extremely impressive. Not many mortals receive the offer that you are receiving. I'll also ask for you to roll me a religion check.
18.
Wow, that's extremely good. I didn't think I was going to tell you this much information. You recognize the name Stikus as being from a lot of prophecies about the end of the world. And I don't think you know the whole story, even with an 18, but you know that it has something to do with the end of the world and something to do with like smuggling. It's like something about Stikus, and part of like going undercover is really important to his story. But you remember that like there are a handful of like divinely appointed like end of the world scenarios. If X happens, then the world ends. like things that come down from Helio or things that come from Hell. If a certain entity gets so powerful, all this stuff, you know that Stikis is involved in one of those stories very closely.
Okay.
And I'll say that you were there for this, I mean, with an 18, I'll just let you make the connection. You were there for when the Bishop Parsley was like, anything hellish that isn't licensed or registered here is going to be ousted by the Helioic faith, by the heavens at sundown today. And so I'm just sending this on this news because you have a very clear picture of what's happening here.
Okay. All right. Tell me what you're talking about then. Stikis?
Yes, in exchange for your soul, I shall give you youth, strength, power beyond what you can possibly imagine. You must only make a deal with me.
I mean, oh, Hoku. Sorry, 1 second.
Just for the fun of it too, Leo, if you want to roll for more information after this scene, then I can tell you guys more information, but it might be more fun to wait till next session as well.
All right. Let me tell you something, Stikis. I don't know how long you've been in that fancy little sword of yours. I've already been young, that got pretty old, so I'm not too interested in that. You got something else?
Power. Yes, power beyond your wild imagination, control, connections, friends. I can give you money, wealth, the means by which to get wealth.
See, I'm pretty comfortable. She's just kind of trying to waste time to see where this goes if she doesn't play into it, if that makes sense. Because you said, she can tell he's trying to rush something, but she doesn't really know why.
I think outside the window here, you can see that the light is getting dim, the sun is going down here. And he goes, not for your soul, then, perhaps for your lifelong devotion. He's getting scared. He doesn't want to tell you what's happening, but you can tell something's happening besides this conversation.
Okay, so my lifelong devotion in exchange for, you said strength?
Strength, power, money, friends. Look, you put it on a list, and I'll figure out a way to get it for you, please.
Let's go back to the strength one, because I got that other stuff. How much are we talking here?
I shall strengthen your sinews beyond that of a mortal man, far beyond that of a mortal woman, man or woman.
She's just
you need only make a deal for your lifelong devotion to Stikis and Asmodeus. You can call him out. It's very clear he's trying to,
She's having a little bit of fun with it. She's just very theatrically
You hear him despite himself, in your mind very slightly goes, please. And it's kind of hoping you haven't heard him.
She's all right. And she shuffles over to her armchair and she just sits down and she's like, what's going on?
I'm offering you a deal. I'm offering you a hellish deal.
I see that. Can I, what's it, Stikis? I might accidentally call you Stinkus. Sorry about that.
Don't do that.
Don't. You're very obviously concerned about something. So maybe give it react and then we can talk, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna say this really fast, and then I'm gonna figure out how we can make a deal where you're happy. Okay, fast. Okay.
Okay.
I am Sticus. I'm the blade of Osmodius. I am prophesied to pierce the heart of Helios and bring about the end of the world, but only if I can get snuck to Helios. And so if they do this thing that I sense is going to happen, where they're going to oust everything, I will be discovered because I am here, air quotes, illegally according to heaven. And I will have lost many thousands of years of progress to get from hell to here to the next plane to where I can accomplish my goal. Originally, Asmodeus tried to bring me up to Helios, but that was far too obvious. So he just started kind of throwing me in the direction of the material plane, and it's been a long time becoming because it's not part of the prophecy that he's the one who kills Helios. It's just that I get there and I stab him. So if you could just make a deal and save me a lot of lost work right now, I would love that. I mean, not your soul, maybe. Just a deal. Just a deal.
Thinks about it for a minute.
You're taking a really long time, and I can see like the rays of the sun getting longer, and I just know
She like brushes off her little shirt, and she's like, "All right, fine."
okay. So you just gotta reach in and grab the hilt of the sword. Like I said, lifelong devotion, power, lots and lots of strength. I'll become a cool fiery sword.
Okay. She hobbles in, and she's in like her house flippers and like her little robe, and she like reaches in with her hand
Shaky hand. Okay.
and grabs the sword.
Amazing. Okay, great. You got a great deal. Cool. You grab the hilt of the sword. Fire, smoke. It's a very intense, like, unfortunately, probably a lot of stuff in your apartment is a little bit ruined here, but the smoke damage or whatever. But you feel this demonic energy searing into you a little bit. It's not painful. It's actually quite warming and kind of intense. But as you make this deal with this blade, you can feel, without lack of a better word, like your youthful vigor return. Your hair doesn't turn, black. You don't get any taller. Your posture seems to improve slightly, and you feel less like creakiness. But it's basically just like, without any cosmetic change, you have gone from a biological age of 75 to like 18, but with, in terms of like what you're able to do and move with. But there's been no like cosmetic change outside of just the ease of being able to move, and that's like the first change that you feel immediately. And then you can kind of feel this psychic thing of warmth flow over you as you're gripping onto the sword, and you kind of realize that like he is so relieved. Seekus is just like, yes, yes, like he's just kind of like, oh, so good. And you kind of, through that psychic exchange, you realize like this blade has laid dormant for centuries, eons, thousands of years. And you can kind of like experience like the feeling of like, this has kind of like been a year-long, many millennia long experience of like going from the hells and then being slowly smuggled onto like material plane, then sitting on like bookshelves from place to place and avoiding detection from the church. And for the most part, this guy's been asleep for forever. And then with the events of this thing that Bishop Parsley is suggesting, it was able to detect that, and it's like, oh, I gotta do some moves or the game's up. And now that you've done this, he is licensed. He has a mortal reason to be here outside of just, and it's, I mean, this is stuff that you wouldn't know, but what you know is that he's relieved. you don't know like what's going on in heaven and hell and kind of how the politics of this works, but whatever has happened, he feels safe now. Yeah, and congratulations, you're an 8th level warlock.
Woo.
And there will be a lot to explore there as we kind of discover how things come to pass.
And death and destruction.
I kind of want to leave it there just because I know that Matt is feeling really ill right now. And I know that like we've kind of addressed all of the major concerns of last week. We kind of know how things have resolved, what's going on here. Maybe a little bit of it was rushed, and that's okay. I just want to make sure everybody's still having fun and we can kind of progress from here into a more standard D&D experience now that we've kind of gotten these big things out of the way. Is everyone feeling good? Everyone hands or comments?
DC.
So
Okay, sounds good. So we will continue from here. I will see you guys all next Sunday is my plan. I think we'll all be able to make it. I have no plans, and we'll keep going week to week as much as possible. And we might miss a week or two here or there, but we're back on board. Okay, thanks so much for your time today, guys.
Peace.
thanks.
See ya.